Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in again to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. Cedric here in Antwerp with another brew review, and today we are revisiting a brand that we already know. We are tasting another strong blonde beer from Broeder Jacob, the Lazarus series, and in this case it is the Armagnac Infused. Now, just like the sherry infused one we had earlier, this is a strong blonde beer, infused in the same way, so with toasted American oak wood chips, drenched in Armagnac in this case for 3 weeks before adding those to the base beer and letting that macerate again. Here too, they ended up with an 8.5% ABV finished product. Now, let's dig a little deeper into Armagnac. I mean, sure, everyone knows cognac, and the names Hennessy, Martel, Courvoisier, Doucet, Remy Martin, those all ring a bell for most people, but Armagnac, not really. Nevertheless, Armagnac predates cognac by about 200 years, but of course it's not so popular in pop culture. In the 12th century, Armagnac was first distilled for its therapeutical traits. In 1310, cleric Vital Dufour, who was born in the Armagnac region himself, wrote about Armagnac's 40 virtues. And a small excerpt from that is, Armagnac makes people happy, preserves youth and health, and makes people less prone to become senile. So, what do you know? What more does one need or want? Now, apparently Armagnac has never ceased to exist, and it even boomed during the English wine embargo when they only allowed French Bordeaux wines. Cognac and Armagnac do share a lot of similarities. They're both French spirits, both are distilled from white wine, even the used grapes are about 55% the same. Both are aged in oak barrels, and so on and so forth. However, there are a few differences too. For instance, cognac is double distilled and Armagnac uses a single distillation alembic, which is a bit more efficient. Where cognac uses the Uni Blanc grape almost exclusively, Armagnac only uses 55% Uni Blanc and about 35% Baco grapes and a bit of Foule Blanche and Colombard, and although there are exceptions of course. But this mostly results in a sweeter, more fruity aroma. And the most obvious yet least known difference is probably the location. The Cognac region and the Armagnac region, or the Côte de Gascogne, are actually about 300 kilometers apart. That's the entirety of Belgium, actually. In 1909, the Armagnac region was specified, and since 1936 the Appellation contrôlée d'origine d'Armagnac was officialized, so now it is protected. In this case, the Lazarus base beer is infused with Armagnac Entra 5 ans, a 42.5% ABV single grape Armagnac, so again the exception, distilled from a natural white wine made with solely Uni Blanc grapes grown on clay and limestone soil in the Tenares region. Some rather special details about this Armagnac are that it's filtered through a cotton cloth before bottling and not mechanically filtered, and it's a non-reduced spirit, meaning it is not diluted. Now, of course, in the single distillation, Armagnac often ends up with a much lower ABV than cognac, which is double distilled and ends up with about 70-72%. Armagnac often stays around that 40-45% mark, and this is a 42.5%, so there was no need for diluting. Of course, a cellar master like this one knows what he's doing, and he makes a very well balanced Armagnac. Now let's have a taste. I am very curious. Oh, another gusher. No. Not again, not again. A lot of aroma immediately. Now, like I said, I am very curious because I am not a big fan of many spirits. I used to be a bartender, I used to make cocktails and stuff. I love working with it. Not just a fan of most tastes of spirits. I'm not a whiskey drinker, I'm not a big cognac fan. Okay. Since this is gonna be another gusher, I thought let's take some precautions beforehand. This is gonna spill. Nothing to do about that. Unfortunately, this is one of the only ways to not soil my table. Okay, so when it comes to damage control, I think we did our best. What does this bottle tell us? Armagnac Infused, Armagnac Entre 5 ans, Armagnac Tenares. They are fans of the word Armagnac. A powerful Armagnac matured for 5 years in the cellar of d'Antra. The cellar master Michel Maestrejuan created a perfectly balanced, non-reduced Armagnac. Okay. Now, this is very aromatic, quite heavy again, but as I said before, most spirits do have that trait to make your beer quite heavy in the nose. Absolutely lovely color, sort of coppery, yeah, amber even. Quite a boozy aroma. Quite fruity as well. A very complex bouquet. Even a slight bit floral. So let's have a taste. Ooh, oh my. Very tasteful. Armagnac is the first thing that you taste. It's very dominant in here, but not in a bad way. I do get a lot of vanilla, so those oak chips as well as those oak barrels are doing their job. I do get a lot of fruitiness. And by fruitiness I mean some dried fruits, some grapes, some dates, some raisins I mean. But also some overripe fruit. So I don't know how this is, what people call this in English, but I mean the sugary grapes like the Edelrot. I taste a bit of that in there. Yeah, very woody. Like I said, a lot of vanilla, a lot of wood, a lot of overripe fruit, some dried fruits, some raisins, some figs, some dates maybe. Yeah, very nice. Now, I do have to say, I'm not drinking it very cold, so it opens up the aromas a lot. And I do think that I would drink this like once or twice, but I wouldn't go out all night on this. Yeah, when I take in some air, that vanilla extract or that vanilla aroma, it's not an extract of course. Well, it is an extract because it is extracted from the wood, but it's not an extract in the industrial sense. So I'm not blaming Broeder Jacob of using extracts in their beers. But it really opens up that aroma, and even in the aftertaste, actually the first taste, the first glance is rather, yeah, spirity, and the aftertaste is more beery, if that's logical. So in the aftertaste we do get some hops, a bit of bitterness, pardon me, a bit of dryness even. It is very thirst quenching as well. So I do like this a lot more than the sherry infused one. Yeah. Okay. Then all that's left for us is to score this beer. Like I said, I do like it a lot more than its brother or sister with sherry. So I think I will give this, let's make it a 3.75 in Untapped. Because I am a fan of that wood aroma, of that vanilla aroma. Apparently I do like Armagnac a lot more than sherry. So, and the base beer is quite good as well. So let's leave it at that. As usual, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe, hit the bell icon. You'll be the first to know whenever I upload something. And if you like this video, well, just watch my other videos and let me know. Hit the thumbs up. Any questions, leave a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. See you in the next video. Cheers.